Good day. Let's do some pre-algebra multiplying decimals. So you see here we have 4 problems. Okay, negative 5.5 times 4.8. Here we have 5.1 times negative 0.35, 0.2 times 1.6, and 11 times 0.43. Okay, let's start off with this first problem up here. Okay, so starting this problem, you see that we have a negative number times a positive number. Okay, so a negative number times a positive number is going to give us a negative answer. Okay, if I have a negative times a negative, that's going to give us a positive. And also if I have a positive times a positive, that's going to give us a positive. Okay, so for this first one here, we have this negative 5.5 times 4.8. So that's a negative times a positive. We're going to get a negative for our answer. Okay, also, you notice that we have these decimals in here. What I recommend doing is taking the decimals out and then putting them back in once we get the answer. Okay, so to set up our problem, we have negative 5.5. We're multiplying that times 4.8. Okay, like I said, you could take the decimals out. So I'm taking it out once, and I'm taking this out once. So I'm taking out twice. Sometimes I'll draw 1, 2. Okay, so that's for 1 and 2. So I take it out twice. And then, I could kind of rewrite this. Negative 55 times 48. Okay, after I take the decimals out, that's kind of what it looks like. Now, what you can do to solve this is we could use our vertically and crosswise. And I would draw this pattern out. Kind of looks like a line, 2 lines, and then a line over here. Okay, this is our vertically and crosswise. Vertically and crosswise. Okay, how we do that is we multiply first this step here. 5 times 8. Our answer is going to come in 3 parts. 1, 2, and 3. So we can kind of section this off into 3 parts. Here we have 1, 2, 3. So for the first part, we have 5 times 8. 5 times 8 gives us 40. Next step, we're doing this crosswise, so it looks like an X. By the way, this is where you get your multiplication symbol from the Indian vertically and crosswise. So our next step, we're going to do 5 times 8 plus 5 times 4. So that's 5 times 8 plus 5 times 4. So that's 20. 5 times 8, once again, that's 40. 40 plus 20 gives us 60. Okay, and for our final step, we have 5 times 4. You see this step here. Okay, another vertically. That's where we get the name vertically and crosswise. Okay, vertically, this step here. 5 times 4. 5 times 4 gives us 20. Okay, now all we have to do is carry over. So the 4 is going to carry here, and the 6 is going to carry here. Okay, so we get our answer 2640. 2640. Now remember that in the beginning here we have this negative times a positive. Negative times a positive gives us a negative, so we have to tack on a negative. And remember, we took these decimals out 2 places, so now we're going to put them in 2 places. So 1, 2. So we get our answer negative 26.40. Okay, if you've never seen vertically and crosswise and carrying over like this before, I have a couple videos on vertically and crosswise. It's just a basic pattern that was developed in India. It makes multiplication a lot easier. I find it easier to be doing carries like this instead of adding everything up at the end when you're doing your multiplication. Let's try another problem. Perhaps you'll get the hang of this. Just erase some of this stuff on the board here. Okay, so here for our new problem, we have 0.2 times 1.6. Okay, see that we have a positive times a positive, so our answer is going to be positive. Okay, our answer is going to be positive. And what we want to do is we want to write it out. So you have, 0.2 times 1.6. Okay, and taking these decimals out and then putting them back in later. So 1, 2. So I took them out 2 places. Okay, so if I rewrite this as 2 times 16, okay, 2 times 16, well, we know what 2 times 16 is. 2 times 16 is 32. 2 times 16 is 32. Now all we have to do is put these decimals back in. So we get our answer 0.32. All right, let's try another problem, maybe one with some vertically and crosswise again, so you can get used to the pattern. And it's just easier. If you feel more comfortable doing your multiplication, doing a different method than vertically and crosswise, go ahead and use whatever you feel comfortable with. I like the vertically and crosswise. I've been using it for years now. Okay, so once again here we have 11 times 0.43. Okay, so once again we have a positive times a positive. That's going to give us a positive answer. Okay, and you want to set it up 11 times 0.43. Okay, and we want to take this decimal out 1, 2 places. So I usually draw 1, 2 just to remind myself. Now we have 11. Let's tell you what, I'm going to move this over. Let's do it over here. 11 times 43. Okay, vertically and crosswise is a pattern that looks like this. Okay, so the first step is vertically, 1 times 3. 1 times 3 gives us 3. Next step is crosswise. Once again, this is where you get your multiplication symbol from, the Indian mathematicians. They're vertically and crosswise. So crosswise is going to be 1 times 3 plus 1 times 4. So 1 times 3 plus 1 times 4. Okay, that's 3 plus 4. That gives us 7. So we write a 7 here. Next step, 1 times 4. See the vertically here? 1 times 4, straight down the left-hand side. 1 times 4 gives us 4. Okay, so we get our answer here. We get our answer here as 473. And then we need to remember that we need to put this decimal in 2 places back in. So starting over here at the right, we go 1, 2. So we get our answer is 4.73. 4.73. All right, let's do one more problem with vertically and crosswise. I think there'll be some carries. So once again, I could explain to you how to do the carryovers. So let's erase this stuff here. And start with this next problem. Looks like we have a problem here. That's going to be 5.1 times negative 0.35. So we have a positive times a negative. Okay, that's going to give us a negative answer. So let's set this up. We have 5.1 times negative 3, times negative 0.35. Okay, first thing we want to do is we want to count these decimals out. So we have 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, next we could rewrite that without the decimals. Okay, so it's going to be 51 times negative 35. Okay, you could kind of ignore this negative sign for now, so long as you know that the answer is going to be negative. You can see we have positive times negative equals negative. Positive times negative equals a negative. So you could kind of ignore this for now. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and erase it. You could ignore it for now, so long as you remember to tack on this negative sign in the answer. Okay, so our vertically and crosswise we get in 3 parts. Once again, it looks like this. Okay, the first step is vertically, so 1 times 5. 1 times 5 gives us 5. Okay, the next step is crosswise. Crosswise, 5 times 5 plus 1 times 3. So that's 5 times 5 plus 1 times 3. It's 25 plus 3, that gives us 28. So we could write the number 28 in there like that. Okay, and the next step is a vertical. Last step, vertical. Okay, it's just straight down this side, 5 times 3. 5 times 3 gives us 15. Now all we need to do is carry over. Remember that in each one of these spaces, you only have room for 1 digit. Right? This is the single units digit, this is the tens digit, and this is the hundreds. So you can't have 2 digits here. You need to take this furthermost one and carry it over. Okay, 2 plus 15, that gives us 17, and then an 8, and then a 5. Okay, I simply just carried over this 2 and added it onto the 5, giving me a 7. That 8 just drops down, the 5 just drops down. Okay, this is how you do your carries over in your Vedic maths. Now all we need to do is, okay, put that decimal back in and tack on a negative sign. So here we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So it looks like we get our answer as negative 1.785. Okay, remember we have this negative sign because we have a positive times a negative gives us a negative. Here we have a positive times a negative. That gives us our negative answer. Okay, just really quick video here on pre-algebra, multiplying decimals together with negatives, negative numbers thrown in there for good measure. If you like these type of videos, leave a comment down below, like and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you.